Yeah, it's pretty simple overall. It's like the test showed that the Earth is not moving, and they changed all physics. It doesn't matter what anyone says about it. And now that confinement has created all kinds of problems in physics, and now we can't explain a whole lot of things because of this assumption. And I think that the big part that I want to break down to people that I think is super important is the difference in Newtonian and Einsteinian. So for like a minute, I'm going to explain this real fast. So like when Einstein first went to the Astronomical Royal Society trying to propose relativity, he got laughed out of the room. You know, like anyone that dared question like the Newtonian framework or an ether or an absolute frame was considered insane. It's everything has to move in relation to an absolute. Anyway, so the fundamental difference people should wrap their mind around is a lot of the bars will tell you that there's no difference in Einsteinian and Newtonian mechanics, and that Einsteinian math breaks down to Newtonian mechanics. He didn't supersede it. He didn't replace it. It's the same thing. This is incorrect, and for many reasons, right? But one of them being that Newtonian mechanics says that the space is a fixed reference frame. It's a fixed absolute reference frame. So there's fixed space, background of space, and then Einstein says there is no fixed background of space. These are different. And then, you know, an object will continue in motion unless another force exerted on it changes that, right? So Newton's laws of motion. So if I drop something straight down, according to Newton, it's just going to go straight down unless another force acts on it to make it change direction, i.e. to go in orbit, a force must act directly on the object that's in free fall, changing its direction, removing it from free fall to keep it moving in a different direction. And that free fall straight path needs a force, fixed background. Einstein says no fixed background, that objects that are in free fall are actually in a geodesic path, which means that they can appear straight, but they're actually curving overall in space-time, so that in a free fall, it's curving around the object. These are fundamentally different, which means they cannot coexist. They're not the same thing, anything like that. And this is shown by the fact that they have different predictions for Mercury's perihelion shift. So long story short, this all came about because they had to explain Michelson-Morley, and he changed everything. That really straight lines will appear straight, but they're actually curved in space-time. That it'll look like the sky is a fixed background, but actually there is no such thing as a fixed background. That many things will appear to be at rest, but actually there's no such thing as rest, and everything in the universe is moving. That time is the fourth dimension. He added an entire dimension to reality in his theory of physics, and time is the fourth dimension. That time can physically expand and slow down, and that objects in motion contract and get smaller or shrink in the direction of motion. These are all the things that he added to save the heliocentric model. And since then, no one's been able to verify length contraction, directly detect it, even explain the mechanism for it. And it's just cleaned onto because they have to. And what Einstein brought in was this magic wand where you can transform everything through his transforms. You can make it work in relativity even when it shows the Earth's not moving. So, like, basically, in conclusion, Einstein says it best himself when he says that he came across the experiment. He said, but when I was a student, I saw that experiments of this kind had already been made, in particular by your compatriot Michelson. He proved that one does not notice anything on Earth that it moves, but that everything takes place on Earth as if the Earth is in a state of rest. There's no way around it. That's point blank. Relativity says, yeah, it's going to always look like it's at rest. You try to do an experiment to test it. It's going to show that the Earth's at rest. Everything's going to show you the Earth's stationary, but actually it's just an illusion and it's moving. And so when he says that everything occurs on the Earth as if the Earth is at rest, he means at rest. He doesn't mean at rest while tilted, wobbling, spinning, right? He means at rest. So that's the official explanation of the heliocentric model to this day, is that it'll always appear like the Earth's at rest no matter what you do from the Earth, but it's actually just an illusion and the universe is playing a trick on you. And that's what's needed to explain the assumption that the Earth's flying through space. So,
which proves space is fake, there is no moon, and the Earth is flat.